children. It's so lovely to be here. How many of you had lots of Easter eggs over the last few days or last week? Put your hands up high. Yes? Well, today we're going to be talking about fruits. And this story happened about 42 years ago. It's a true story that I witnessed. I witnessed it because it happened in my own home. And this is a story about my baby brother. But he's not a baby anymore. Now, some of you may know who my baby brother is. And this is a story that we talk about in the family quite a lot, and we have a good laugh about it. But we've all learnt something from it. But first of all, I'm going to show you some fruits and just see what you know about fruits. Every Sabbath, or every Friday, my mum and dad would go and buy lots of fruits for Sabbath. And we would have one fruit that my mum would cut open, and she'd talk to us about where it came from in the world, the different countries you could find this particular fruit, and also the nutritional value. So we would sit there having a conversation after lunch. So I'm going to show you some fruits and just see what you know. Right, does anybody know what these are? Put your hands up. What is it? It's a kiwi fruit. How many of you like kiwis? Right, some of you do, some of you don't. Okay, let's try another one. What are these? They're apples. And you know what? God has made us so many different varieties of apples. These are called pink ladies. And if you eat different apples, you will realise they all have a slightly different taste. So these ones are called pink ladies, and they're really delicious. Does anybody know what this is? A pomegranate. And I cut one open because just in case nobody has seen a pomegranate, that's what it's like on the inside. Really unusual looking, absolutely delicious as well. Right, to our story. Well, this particular Sabbath, who can tell me what's this? It's a mango. Who likes mangoes? Yes. I think most people like mangoes, don't they? Right, so on this particular Sabbath, my mum was sitting there with the mango, and she was talking to us about how in the Caribbean growing up, she had a mango tree, or I think 2 or 3 mango trees in her garden, and my mum and dad were discussing this, and so then she started to cut it open. So now, if any of you have had a mango, I remember the first cut of the mango usually ends up being the thickest part and the most juiciest. Because when people cut it, they cut it that first bit, and then they probably think afterwards, oh, I need to have enough to share around. So that first bit is the best bit. And I cut this morning. I cut a mango this morning. So I want you to imagine, we're going back 42 years. We're sitting in our front room at home. My mum cuts the mango and she offers it to my baby brother. And he says no. And we all looked at him. And my mum said, why? And he said, it's not big enough. So I got that piece. So then she cut another piece. And she went back to my baby brother again. And he said, no. Now, he was about 2 years old at this time. And she said, why? She said, and he said, it's not big enough. So, my other brother got it. So now, if you know about cutting up mangoes, the bits at the side, there's not really much to it. And so she handed a piece to my dad. She had a bit. And so what was left was this bit, which is the stone. And my baby brother said, yes, that's the bit I want. Now, any of you who've eaten a mango, you know nobody wants to get right down to the stone. So it looks as if it's bigger, but you bite into it and you can break your teeth because there's not much flesh to it. And he sat there and he bit into it. And we were all still munching away on our juicy, delicious mangoes. And my baby brother sat there, and the tears, because he used to cry silently. He had an incredible way of never making a sound, and these big, huge tears would just roll down his face. And we could see the tears rolling. And my mum said, what's wrong? And he said, it's not the biggest, and it's not the best. This isn't what I thought. Now, do you think my mum cut another mango and gave him another piece? No, she didn't. Because there was a lesson to be learnt there. And, you know, sometimes in life, for all of us, whether we're children or whether we're adults, maybe somebody will give us something and we think to ourselves, oh, I could have got better than that. I could have done better than that. And sometimes, even when God blesses us, he gives us something. He chooses something for us, and we turn around and we think, I could have got better than that. That's not good enough. And what often happens is, if God has chosen something for you, when God chooses for us, he gives us the best bit. He gives us the very best. And it's really important that we learn to accept his blessings, to accept what he's chosen for us. And there's an amazing verse in the Bible, which is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. And I wonder whether somebody would like to come up and read that today. Who would like? Okay. Nice loud voice. So 29, verse 11. Where's 11? Right here. For I know.
Okay. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And let us all remember that whatever God chooses for us, whatever plans he chooses for us, they're always the very best.